Welcome to Global Connections on ThinkTech Hawaii. I'm your host, Jay Fidell. Today we'll talk about Modi. Modi manages a global consensus for his war against terrorism. But what will be the next target? Our guest for the show is Roopmati Khandekar, geopolitical analyst. Welcome to the show, Roopmati.
Hello, Ajay. Thank you for having me on your show. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
What happened in India last week and since is a crucial juncture in history. The phase of terrorism tests the patience of the victimized nations, their retaliation, their efforts to achieve long-term resolutions, with or without international support. So let's begin with what happened in India and Kashmir. Tell us the story, Roopmati.
Yeah, so Jay, now we've been speaking about these two conflicts that are happening in the world, the Ukraine-Russia and the Israel-Gaza. Add to it another one because on April 22nd, this group of terrorists sponsored by Pakistan indulged in the most gruesome attack on civilians who were holidaying from around 15 states of India. They came to a place in Jammu and Kashmir known as Pahalgam, and they were enjoying their holiday, zip lining, having snacks and all that. And these group of terrorists have opened fire and shot dead civilians point blank. So, Jay, terrorism strikes again, and on soft targets like civilians. It's a story that we are hearing time and again, and I think everybody's lost their patience. And Modi is the one who has really now taken things in his hand and going for a answer to this. And so, Jay, this has been a terrorist attack, and something which reminds us of the October 7 attack when civilians were attacked in the unarmed position. Civilians were attacked just for being Hindu. They were asked, are you a Jew? Are you a Christian? Are you a Hindu? So we are again being questioned on our identity or it's our character that we have a religion. And just for that being a crime and being shot, that is the whole incident that happened on April 22nd. And it has got repercussions which are going to last a very long time and going to hit headlines very, very hard, Jay.
Who are these people that conduct these attacks? What brings them together to do this? What motivates them? And why are they so brutal? Talk about them, will you?
Yeah, Jay. So these are terrorists. There's a state of India known as Jammu and Kashmir. And when Pakistan was formed from India in 1947 for housing the Muslim people of India, they wanted a separate state for themselves on the basis of religion. They were given the state to reside in. And then what happens? The Muslims that want to stay back in India don't go to that state which is created for Muslims. So they create another confusion and tension in a state. Even when they were promised, they stayed back in India. Then they took Jammu and Kashmir, which it's been a problem state for India for a long, long time because it's got a Muslim majority population, which claims to be part of Pakistan, inclination towards Pakistan, wants independence, all these. Now, you can't have Texas claiming independence from the USA. It's right in the middle. How can you? It's the same scenario for Jammu and Kashmir. So to create tension, they have the only tool for terrorists to create havoc or to disturb the normal life of a nation state. And that is when these terrorists really don't respect the sovereignty, democracy, freedom of others, and they bring upon dead, Jay. So they have indulged in this time and again, and we have a problem in that the local civilians, they harbor these terrorists till they carry out the attack. There are so many supporters who help these militants to carry out these attacks. And we have discussed one of previous programs, Jay, that if you ban Lashkar-e-Taiba, they change it to Lashkar-e-Toiba, and they keep on changing the name so that their funding doesn't stop. Pakistan has been the epicenter of terrorism since it was formed, since 1947, and they have been. Osama was found over there. They housed Osama for 3 years. He was in an army camp protected by the army, Pakistani army. So this kind of terrorist activity for Pakistan is not new. And they have these terrorist training camps in the POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, uh, to just go and create a terror attack in India. So, Jay, what happens with this terror attack? Something like what happened on April 22nd. It disrupted lives. It creates a fear of going to that place. So that's what the terrorists want. And then, you know, Jay, these terrorists have only one motive, that is to take lives of innocent victims. So this cycle has to be borne by three nations today in the geopolitical world: Israel in the Gaza Strip, US now fighting with Houthi, and now India fighting the terrorists of Pakistan. So these three conflicts against terrorism have created such a um, consensus, Jay, that Modi was given the go ahead by each and every nation. Each and every nation came out in support of India, and they gave him a free hand kind of a thing to in his retaliation. And that is what is stunning, because that is the goodwill that Modi has garnered over the years. And Jay, an attacker always comes prepared. So they came prepared. Now the offense or the retaliation will also be under preparation. And that is where I'll tell you something about Modi, that why he's such a visionary. There's an Indus Water Treaty in India. There are five rivers which come from the Himalayas, and three of them flow into Pakistan, and two of them flow into India. So Indus, Chenab, Jhelum, Bees, and Ravi. So we get the smaller rivers, and Pakistan was promised of rivers flowing from India to Pakistan, which would give them hydroelectricity, which would give them potable water, and would 68% of Pakistan agriculture depends on this water. We have faced so many terrorist attacks from Pakistan, but there was no retaliation to this extent. There were Modi said there will be immediate stoppage of water. Now, this was a treaty which was brokered by the World Bank in 1960. So, Jay, now this is a world treaty being smashed out of the window for a retaliation which is well done. Experts all over the world said, how can he stop the flow of the mighty rivers of the Himalayas? It's very difficult to do that. But check the visionary that Modi is. He has been planning this since the Pahalgam incident in 216, when they attacked an army convoy. From that time, Modi has been visualizing how to be able to control the waters. There's an 82-meter tunnel which will divert the waters of one country, one river to a state of India which needs the water. So he has done this homework, and Jay, with immediate effect, the rivers ran dry in Pakistan, and the repercussions you will see in a couple of 15 days, 20 days, what will happen for the water, because water is a necessity. You know, we have seen through the COP summits that the next war today, the issue is oil that we fight for. The resource that we think about is oil. The next resource of the next decade will be water. Modi has used this much before in advance. And Jay, the victims who were targeted in the Pahalgam attack were innocent tourists who had been married 6 days back, 1 month back. There were men being shot. There were children being injured. So all these things show that there is no humanity on that side. Now, why should Modi show humanity in stopping water? Why should the supply of water not be controlled to a state which thrives just by creating terror in a country which is now on the brink of economic success, Jay, number 4 in the world, number 3 to become, and really robust economy? A war would set things back, and that is why Modi has given the go ahead to the armed forces the three Navy, Army, and Air Force to go for an all-out, whatever they want to do, kind of a retaliation.
Pakistan denied supporting the terrorists vociferously in the United Nations when Modi attacked them there in the last couple of days. And the question, but if that's not true, in other words, if Pakistan is a supporter of this terrorism, and there have been, I agree with you, there have been a number of terror attacks, all emanating from Pakistan over recent years, including the one on the hotel in Mumbai, was it? And so that would make Pakistan a state supporter of terrorism, sort of like Iran in the Middle East, a state supporter of terrorism. But why would a state support terrorism? Is it religious? What is it? Is it historical? I mean, it seems to be opposite to their national interest, because they know there'd be retaliation, and yet they support the terrorism. What drives the nation, the country of Pakistan, to support this terrorism?
Nothing better to do, Jay. Nothing better to do exactly that, because right now they have a starving population. Their wheat prices, their basic food prices are through the roof. People cannot afford basic food, and Jay, the economy is in the downward spiral. They have asked for a loan of $1.38 billion from the bank just today. So they are in those dire consequences. Now, when you see the grass is green on the other side, and that economy has moved ahead and trying to uh, just go on economic success, so that hurts them, So this is the only way that they can create tensions in a thriving state, to disturb the democracy, to disturb the open society, to create tensions now. Because I told you, Pakistan was formed on the religious lines. The Muslims were set to go in Pakistan, the Hindus were supposed to stay in India. The Muslims did not leave India. So now Pakistan knows they have a trump card of Muslims in India who will always have affinity more towards Pakistan than India. And when something like this happens, the tensions rise in India, Jay. The Muslims say you can Pakistan try to investigate whether Pakistan hand is there. Don't go for war. The narratives come out, Jay. They start marching on the streets and say, uh, think before, we don't need war, we need dialogue. 70 years these two countries have been talking, and today we are seeing decisive decisions being taken, and it's the time to act, because I think the world has run out of patience to deal with terrorism. You can't have civilians being targeted in their homes, in their places of leisure. This is, we can't survive as an open society if we allow this to happen. So as it happens, we have to nip it in the bud. And I think nipping in the bud is an understatement. If 70 years of terrorism that India has faced from Pakistan, and Pakistan is a state sponsor of terrorism, every attack in the world has got a backing which comes from Pakistani soil. 9/11, Pakistan. So everything, 26/11 in India, Pakistan. So they try to attack under the name of the Bretton Hood, and they talk of them being different from the Hindus, or them being different from the other religions. They bring this religious angle. The motive is very clear, Jay, that religion for them is motivation, because it promises them the 72 angels in the sky, and die for your religion will make you the most pious of them all. So they're willing to die. The militants who came in Pahalgam, they knew they would be caught, they knew there will be a war, but they don't have that fear for life.
As you say, there are a lot of Muslims who live in India.
Yes.
They never went to Pakistan, although Pakistan is primarily a Muslim country, and I guess it's run by Muslim factions, which makes it, the kind of country that supports terrorism, and the kind of country that has failed economically, as you described. But what you're left with is a diversity of Muslim and Hindu in India. And if I were a Muslim right now living in India, I would be concerned that the Hindus will come after me, that the army, that Modi will come after me because they're not sure whether that I favor the India and the Hindus or whether I'm really a terrorist. There must be trouble on the streets right now, Roopmati, don't you think?
Yeah, that is exactly the point, that they create a tension amongst all. The army chief was talking of why Muslims are different from Hindus, and that's exactly the narrative that they keep on spreading in India now. uh, it's a diverse country with different languages changing every 200 meters, religions being vast and diverse. You have so many differences in culture within, but to create these differences and to bank on them is what they do. And when the army chief was talking of this, Jay, it was motivating many Muslims in India to talk of the different. And one more thing is there that there's a WAF attack act. Um, WAF is a Muslim board, and Nehru of India, the first prime minister, he had created this WAF act, which is very, very unfair for Hindus of India, that he promised the Muslims that whichever land they feel is theirs, they can occupy it. And what they say and do is above the law of the land of India. So that changed in these couple of months from Modi through a parliamentary act. Now, a parliament act of parliament is democracy at its best. Above the constitution is the will of the people. So Modi has changed this draconian act and brought it to equitable terms, that you cannot grab any land. It has to have a Muslim donating to you. You can't grab the land of Hindus or grab ancient land and say it's yours. So that was right in that direction. Then Bangladesh invited China to cut the chicken neck of India. If you see the map of India, there's a 20-kilometer area which connects the 7 states of India to the mainland India. So Bangladesh, which was formed, said that we invite China and we can cut it off and we are the guardian of the sea. But Jay, they forgot that India was allowing Bangladesh to use each and every airport of India, transport infrastructure to export their goods from Bangladesh to Europe, from Bangladesh to America. They had full access and unlimited access. Modi cut it, immediate effect. Now what happens to the goods of Bangladesh? They stay within the country. There's no access outside. So you see, then that hurts Bangladesh. Who comes? Little big brother comes and says, I will take your revenge. And so how can they take the revenge? They send these terrorists to kill. And that has been the story of terrorism, Jay. You retaliate with these cowardly acts of killing people, innocent people.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of talk in the Indian press and the global press, for that matter. I mean, including Western newspapers and websites about how this could mean war between India and Pakistan, maybe a civil war within India. Can you talk about the possibilities of war as a result of this terror attack?
Civil war in India won't happen, Jay, because still now, luckily, Hindus are in a majority, and they will, the Muslims, the first law that if you're not in a minority, you stay quiet till you're in a majority. So they follow that to the hilt. And Jay, and a war against Pakistan is necessary, and it's brought upon India. India never went. Modi was busy for a tour in Saudi Arabia. Nobody was planning this to attack Pakistan. And this attack on tourists, if it happens today, it will happen tomorrow. The 26/11, which happened in Mumbai, the Taj Mahal Palace, what did they do? They went to attack a Jewish synagogue and they killed Moshe. You remember Moshe, baby Moshe? He was saved by his nanny, his Indian nanny. His parents were killed and raped in front of the people. So they have this kind of targets that they want this religion to be targeted. And that is the problem, Jay. And we can't, if you want to practice our religion, no, if you want to live, we have to tackle these people because I told you, their conversion was on the basis of a sword. None of our religions have made you convert on the basis of a sword. The violence is being played out in full. They will get a retaliatory uh, answer in violence. Sometimes it needs war to bring peace. And this is the place, Jay, because all these wars we talk about, we talk about the pros and cons, if it is for property, if it is for money, if it is for land. But when the war is fought on the basis of religion, your ethnic cleansing, to just kill people for the sake of them living, it needs an action which will be very, very, in their own words.
How does this compare with October 7th in Gaza and what happened afterward, and Netanyahu's position about eliminating all the Hamas people from Gaza? How does it compare with Iran and Iran's use of proxy terrorists? There's a haunting similarity between what happened in Kashmir and what has happened in the Middle East. Can you compare and contrast these two theaters of violence?
Yeah, Jay. So it's a union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So it belongs to India. Now, to keep the local population thinking that they don't belong here and they need to create freedom is the same kind of sentiment that is played on the Gaza people, that we need to claim our land, we need freedom from Israel, we need to attack Israel. And so that kind of indoctrination that takes place, that creates for them a motive which is just to take lives. And Jay, both the attacks, they think and talk about taking civilian lives, unarmed people, not the army people. There have been read out the papers, multiple attacks on the army, on local people. That is all kept aside. But when you have people coming from 15 different states of India, that's a huge part of the country coming. There was an Israeli and an Italian also who were in the attack. So you want foreign tourists to be attacked. So India falls behind, like you fear to go to India. So all these things will have a consequence over. You see, Israel is a very beautiful place to visit, but as a tourist spot, it can be, accessed for so many benefits. But because of this terrorist hotspot, we don't think of Israel as the first tourist destination. That is, they want that to happen with India too. So these terrorists, Jay, have come together on the same motive of harming a nation. And Jay, immediately as soon as this attack happened, you had Netanyahu being one of the first people to come in to send support. And it's a give and take, because Modi was the first prime minister. The Congress-led government had not gone to Israel, not recognized Israel, Jay, till 1960. Modi was the first prime minister who has gone to Israel. He's brought the pros and cons of Israel-Palestine to the Indian public. The Indian public did not know, Jay, what was happening, because we could just picture Arafat being hugged and cuddled by Nehru and his daughter, and Indira Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, and all these people in a lineage. They were supporting Arafat without understanding what is the cause, what is the motive, are they terrorists, are they being supported by the civilians, without any. Modi was the one who said, no, Israel is the one who's being targeted. And that has set this geopolitical consensus. You have America, Israel, India, Russia, all on the same page of being victims of terrorism. And so the retaliation will be the same, Jay.
Just today, Kash Patel, the FBI here in this country, made a public statement to the effect that the United States supports India, which is important. I mean, he's not an international relations official, but he does speak for Trump. You remember Trump, right? So apparently, as a matter of foreign policy and as a matter of the Trump administration, as expressed through Kash Patel, the United States will support India in its efforts against terrorism. Your thoughts about that?
Trump knows what is going on about terrorism, because Pakistan is not a secret to any of the presidents. And one of the first presidents who actually brought out this picture of Pakistan was Bill Clinton. He visited India, and it used to always be a dual visit. Whoever visited India would visit Pakistan. And once he visited India and he saw what kind of environment there was, it was not as it was propagated to be, and it was not the sponsor of terrorism, and he was told about the reality of Pakistan. He was very strict and very harsh against Pakistan, and then it followed after that to isolate Pakistan on the world stage, because 9/11 Pakistan hand. You have the Russian terrorist attack which happened recently. There's a Pakistan hand in it. So for them, it doesn't require much to recruit these people, train them in these mountains and forests, train them to make bombs, train them to take up arms, and then send them off into a country where they can just create this incident. And then, Jay, what follows is the same routine of the incident happens. Then a narrative is set that we need to investigate, we need to find out the cause. Pakistan buys away time. And now, Jay, one more important thing is that they have whipped up such a big loan. They're in such a default, they are such a failed economy. Once a war starts, they can, what do you say, leave back the payments to be made for all the loans that they have taken. They are a war-torn country then. So for them, this war is one of the means to an end to not pay back loans. Also, because
My recollection is that Pakistan is a nuclear power. Years ago, the United States gave Pakistan nuclear weapons. How does this affect the calculus here? Conceivably, they could be involved in a nuclear war. Of course, India is also a nuclear power. So where does that fit?
Jay, so this nuclear talk has been one of the deterrents of a full-fledged India-Pakistan war. But India, as soon as it made the weapon, the nuclear warhead, it said that we would not strike first. That meant that India has a second strike capability. It is confident of a second strike capability. So even if Pakistan comes up with a nuclear, the retaliation will be worthy of it. And Jay, this nuclear thing, India has become one of the first countries to get 1,000 RPM hypersonic missile. So indigenously built by its defense and research organization. It is going into space technology. It is going into indigenously built weapons. It's exporting the weapons. At the time before Modi, India was an importer of arms. We used to rely on just imported machinery. Today, India has, because of its economic prowess also, it's buying a 63,000 crore, I mean, that translates to equivalent dollars. So of Rafale jets from France. That is equal to a year's defense budget of Pakistan. So we are just buying 26 jets for that amount, which is Pakistan's entire budget for a year. So that leap that India has taken is very important. And Jay, it's got a blind trust in allies that it has fomented through these years of the Modi decade, of Israel and America. It trusts these two countries with closed eyes. And this three-pronged answer to terrorism is what the world needs today. To hold back these people, Jay, because they're going to spread. It is just a testing of waters for them. Today, if they attack one tourist spot, tomorrow they will attack 5 more. So this will continue all over the world.
Well, we titled this Modi Manages a Global Consensus of Dealing with Terrorism. And that's important because this is in discussion in the United Nations. It's certainly in discussion in the media. It's in discussion with Trump and Kash Patel and all that. What can he do? What is he doing aside from freeing the army up to do what it feels is necessary? What can he do to develop a global consensus to deal with this? it's not an easy problem. And as you say, it is likely to repeat itself. And it has implications around the world. I mean, I'm wondering what China has said or done in response to terrorism. China doesn't like terrorism either. Is China supporting India? Anyway, what is Modi's global strategy here, and how is he implementing it?
Jay, so first question to answer you is that China is supporting Pakistan. China and Turkey are the only two countries which are supporting Pakistan, sending them supplies. China has even given them the latest state of the art F-35 fighter jets. And Jay, about the global consensus, I think the world has seen enough to understand that if you are in a conflict zone, you have to act alone, the Netanyahu style, because nobody will come to help you. The narratives will not come to help you. The citizens won't be protected unless you act and you do it. And so Modi has picked up a big lesson that he has to go for it alone. But luckily, when all the nations came in, Jay, this is the only time that India can claim back the land that they have, Pakistan has illegally occupied in POK. That is the issue which is discussed in the United Nations time and again. Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and that forested area in the Himalayas, Jay, they use it for organizing these terror camps, for training these people, militants, and they go from there.
How can this end, Roopmati? Because Pakistan seems to, from all the media reports, is supporting the terrorism and has supported the terrorism for years and decades. And I was a kid in the late 40s. I remember that all the contention about Kashmir and the fight between India and Pakistan, and it has never gone away. And it is not likely to go away now unless something really profound happens. So how is this going to end? Will we see Pakistan completely collapse? Will we see a war in which the people in Pakistan, who I guess are motivated by Islamic considerations and ideologies, will we see the clash of civilizations somehow result in the end of Islamic violence? How is this going to end, and what are the probabilities?
Yeah, Jay. So now in this scenario, even the basic needs of these people are being overlooked, and the Indus Water Treaty has been thrown out of the window. He cuts the water supply to Pakistan. That's a big thing. Secondly, Jay, that when Modi does this, he also activates the Taliban presence, which has been calling for a separate Baluchistan in the south of Pakistan. So Pakistan has got four distinct areas. Divide the map into four. And it's got four distinct areas which are screaming for independence. They are not bothered about their internal domestic problems. They want to edge into an Indian state. So Baluchistan wants to be free. Sindh wants a separate province for itself. Pakistan occupied Kashmir is Indian territory. So Pakistan is literally going to be split up into 4G. They don't have the economics to back up they don't have infrastructure development goals. They have corruption at its peak, Jay. The army chief has run away. He went to leave his family to a foreign state to escape the war. He's not come back. There have been mass resignations of officials in the wake of a war with India, so they have run away. So they're even fearing the retaliation, and they know Modi will retaliate because this is a kind of a war on. See, India is a small country comparatively, and it's the only place for Hindus. If you target Hindus in that place, they're not going to have nowhere to go. Same as in Israel. Israel is a state for Israelis. So these two states have to protect themselves with more vigor. You cannot go away from your homeland. That is the entire crux of this situation. And these rogue militants, Jay, they want to trouble the homelands so that you fear staying in your own homeland. You fear your ethnicity. The next time somebody asks you what your religion is, you're going to fear saying Hindu. But now people have become more proud Hindus. They are saying, yeah, we are Hindu. Now do what you want. That fearlessness comes, then you have a retaliation. India was fearing retaliation for 70 long years. There have been small wars fought. But this, I promise you, is going to be a very decisive war because water is stopped. All Pakistani nationals who are staying in India have been asked to leave the country. Today was the last date. 5 lakh, 5 million Pakistanis have left. They were staying in India. So they were asked to leave. This has never happened ever. So this retaliation is comprehensive. Modi has given his chief of defense forces an open hand. So that has never happened in Indian government. It has always catered to human rights narratives set by the pseudo lobby liberals who just take up these issues for the sake of spreading false narratives. And that is extremely dangerous, Jay, because you press down the real issue. You press down the real issue of civilians being targeted. And it's an absolute no-no for each and every person in the world.
It's all over the press. Every aspect of this, I shouldn't say every because the media never catches every aspect. But for a few days anyway, I'm sure we will see the newspapers around the world and the news channels around the world covering this because it involves such a horrendous violence and because it's likely to result in more violence one way or the other or many ways. And I wonder whether, you think that the media is doing a good job or whether sure enough, in a week or two, it will slide off, the top of the charts and we won't hear much about it. And then we'll wait for another attack and then we'll hear a lot about it then. Is the media doing a good job? And what could they do? What would you tell the media in order to cover this going forward? Because we're seeking a long-term solution, right? What would you tell the media?
Jay, we have seen the media playing a very negative role in all these conflicts. They have portrayed incidents in the wrong sense, and when it happens, they report it, and then they say this never happened. And you have footage of people being asked their religion, bodies, their spouses telling that they were asked their religion. When they said Hindu, they were shot. Now the media reports it that this never happened. Where will the terrorists have time to ask the religion? It's on camera when they have asked this to happen. Only the Hindus have been picked up and killed. So all these are evidence which back up your claims. But the media tries to distort it, tries to set a narrative, tries to minimize the loss to this community, and they use it as a shield. Jay. I am sorry to say that because they really hide behind this media. On October 7th, it was a terrorist attack. On October 8th, Israel was trying to defend why it's victimized. So this doesn't play in the name of neutral media reporting. Media has to be neutral. Media has to be correct in reporting facts and not distorting it to serve the narratives of the people who sponsor them. So you have Washington Post, New York Times giving the same narrative as the opposition in India does.
Yeah, the media has to remember too. It has to remember what happened. It's so easy for the media to be distracted by other things that grab public attention. And this is one of those examples of a global episode, one of interest to everywhere, and that has to be remembered and followed. And that's what the media should be doing. Well, certainly it has international import. It has import going forward. It's something we should follow, Roopmati, and we will. So I hope you keep your radar up on it, so we can discuss it further and figure out what is happening. There are many possibilities. Some of them are really gruesome. Some of them are maybe more positive, more optimistic. But we will follow it going forward. Thank you so much to our guest, Roopmati Khandekar, geopolitical analyst, for this very enlightening discussion, for bringing the news and comment and analysis to us here on ThinkTech. I'm Jay Fidell, host of Global Connections. We've been discussing how Modi is managing a global consensus for his war, clearly his war against terrorism. Thanks to our viewers for watching. We'll see you again soon for the next one. Aloha.
Hello, Ajay. Thank you so much.